Hello, everybody. It's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Never Second in Rome. This is the second part in a series which I've started for this new game. This is the sequel to A Legionary's Life, which is kind of a narrative slash RPG style text adventure, kind of, sort of, maybe, sort of, I don't know. Where you're playing as a commander of a century, basically like an 80-man, 100-man Roman legion unit in the Gallic Wars under the command of Caesar. I believe we're part of the 11th Legion. In the first part, we kind of went through our initial training phase, trying to get our legion up to snuff. We also trained ourselves, and we fought an individual action against a Gallic soldier who had a club, I guess, and we just cut him down like the club-wielding, shieldless, poor peasant that he was. In today's episode, we're going to be likely jumping in and fighting with our actual unit, and this should give you a chance to see some of the new war game type mechanics that the game has, which A Legionary's Life did not. So we are sort of in this phase between battles, if you will, and let's go ahead and hit continue and see what happens here. So, with so little training, the journey through the Alps is being especially demanding of your soldiers. Combativeness points are converted into everyday morale with a ratio of 4-1. Okay, lead them through the ordeal. What happens here? So, we had to have a score of 57 ability. We had 60, so I guess we play on our friendly rivalry with our twin legion, the 12th. They do not want to look weak. Thank you for the resub there, cliche. We do not want to look weak, and so, besides their peers, your leadership and example provided by the 3 elder legions helped restore their confidence. Cool. So, century discipline plus 1,600 action points, including individuals. Potential discipline plus 1. Okay, that's good. Good. On the 7th day, since you've entered these accursed mountains, you finally emerge into the territory of Gallia Transalpina. Here you join the legion that Caesar left to garrison the border. Now you're at full strength. You see the proconsul talking to a stern-looking senior officer. He must be Titus Libanius, the legate, who is in charge of the troops stationed here. Caesar and Libanius go back a few years, or so you are told. Lingering fatigue is greatly reduced for everybody, barring the effect of strain. The Helvetii have not been idle during their time. It took for you to come all the way here from Aquileia. They have crossed the land of the Sesquani and are moving through the area controlled by their neighbors. The Aedui, a tribe in very friendly terms with Rome, when an embassy from the Aedui reaches your camp. Rumors spread that they have come to ask for your help. The Helvetii are pillaging their fields, and they lack the means to defend themselves. There's no time to waste, and very soon you pass over the Rhone and press on outside the territory of the province. Scouts report that the Helvetii have been crossing the Saône, a tributary of the Rhone, up north, with improvised rafts and boats for 20 days. About 1/4 of their people are still stuck on this side of the river. Caesar resolves to take 3 of the experienced legions and moves at a quick pace to catch them by surprise. The messengers that come back from the battleground talk of a one-sided massacre. Busy as they were crossing the river, the Helvetii were totally unprepared for a battle. Now Caesar intends to build a bridge to get over the Saône as quickly as possible and keep the pressure on the bulk of the enemy forces that are on the other side. Check. Send your engineers to help. Forget it, your engineers can't be trusted. I don't think I have very good engineering ability. Yeah, so does it tell me what my engineering ability is anywhere? The Century Engineering 30. There is no way. I mean, it's one of my best traits for the Legion, which is sad, but there's no way it's going to be that low, right? I'll probably get embarrassed if I send them, right? I'll send them and check. They succeed! Barely! All right, apparently the requirement was 30, and they hit 30. So your engineers do well for raw recruits, and their help is appreciated. Caesar's opinion of me goes up. The century's potential engineering also goes up. Cool. All right, well, good job, boys. It takes your army only 1 day to cross the river. With you is a force of 4,000 horsemen recruited among the locals and the nearby Gallic tribes, including the Aedui. The Helvetii are very close now, close enough that they send a delegation to talk, but the confrontation has gone too far, and neither Caesar nor the leaders seem interested in a peaceful solution. The next day, one thing I will say is, I feel like a legionary's life had a lot of text, but it wasn't quite this heavy-handed. It feels like this version of the game has a lot more reading than a legionary's life did, which tended to jump you into situations more quickly than this game does. Now, that's not necessarily good nor bad, but it is different. The next day, the Helvetii resumed their journey when proconsul sends the cavalry to force them to close. The enemy manages to ambush them and drive them off with a much smaller force. This is bad. They will get bolder. Okay. For 15 days, you follow them at a reasonable distance, never getting closer than 5 or 6 miles. You don't see much of your legion is kept from, you don't see much. Your legion is kept far from the most dangerous positions, but you have to stop often because they tell you. The Helveti's rear guard has taken a liking to provoking your column to fight. Caesar refuses to direct a clash for now, consenting himself with preventing foraging parties from leaving their safety of their hostile convoy. You still haven't figured the proconsul out, but at least he is smart enough not to engage the enemy on their own terms. Okay, so do we actually get to fight a battle now? Or, what's our... okay. We got to kill the one guy in the last battle. They're supposed to supply you with grain, but for some reason they're delaying. Perhaps not all of them are on your side. Perhaps some of them fear that their help will come at a price. They'd rather live under the yoke of other Gauls than under that of Romans. They're meeting between Caesar and some leader of your allies, but very little transpires. You're only 18 miles from Barbrace, the largest city of the Aedui. The commander decides to stop following the enemy. The new priority is to reach the city and use the opportunity to stock up on food before resuming the chase. It's not long before you're informed that the Helvetii have turned around to pursue you. They must have interpreted your sudden change of course as a sign of fear. Your cavalry is sent to engage their vanguard to buy time. Caesar is seen dismounting along with all of his closest officers. Their horses are taken away. Today, the proconsul will share the same dangers as his army. If the fight goes wrong, his fate will be no different than yours. Your legion and the 12th are ordered to move up to a nearby hill to guard the baggage. The auxiliary light infantry is with you. The remaining 4 legions form up on the field below, disposed on 3 lines. The mass moving against them is impressive. During the last few weeks, you've heard a lot about the Helvetii and how their warfare skills consistently honed by their continual conflict with the Germani. The javelins from your first line create gaps in the enemy phalanx, but the struggle hangs in the balance. The clash is even more brutal than you expected. I mean, what did I expect? I'm just watching from the top of a hill. From your vantage point, you have a clear view, and you can barely contain your nervousness. It is a torment to watch the battle unfold as you stand here doing nothing. When things seem to take a turn for the better, the Helvetii start retreating toward a nearby mount, and a mile from the battleground, their rear guard emerges in the distance and threatens your open flank. The third line of your army is hastily rearranged to stop them. The battle keeps going on 2 fronts. It's almost sunset when the enemy starts to buckle under the constant pressure. Part of them to retire toward the mountains, the rest to their wagons. There they will make one last stand. Your cohort and a few others are directed away from the hill to control some possible escape routes. You're placed to guard a difficult pass. Anyone who tries to break through here would be at a serious disadvantage. You wait. The sky is darkening and it's getting cold when you spot a disarrayed group of spearmen approaching. They're still far and the light is not ideal, but they do not look like battle-hardened veterans. They carry small shields, light infantry then. At any rate, you'd better not underestimate them. These people are taught to fight from a very young age and are always dangerous. Plus, we're blocking the route of escape, so they're kind of like a cornered animal. They're definitely coming in your direction. You must fight. You glance back at your men. They look tense, but not too scared. Their vantage point gives them confidence just as well because you do not think they would be ready to fight on equal terms. Okay, so now what? Do you want to ask for God's favor in the impending battle? Why would I do that? Do I need to spend money to do that? So you'll lose 50 religion. I don't care. Or I can do cheap sacrifice. You'll immediately gain 1 combativeness. Later, when your vow is fulfilled, you'll gain religion. 60 sestertii. I've got 1,700. Can do 200 sestertii. I could do 500 sestertii. Or I could do Oh my god. What? Did I? No. I didn't build an altar, so I can't do... Oh, I can... Oh my god. Why would I'm gonna build a frickin' altar? That seems ridiculous. To Mars! Oh, we gonna do that's 1,000? What am I gonna do with... Oh, alright, whatever. We'll just do a sacrifice. 200 gold. Whatever. That's good enough. I don't want to spend so much money. Okay, so the cohesion of your enemy must be 1,200 or less at the end of the fight. Your cohesion must be higher than your enemy's. So right now our cohesion is 2,040 and the enemy is 1,536. So this is the part of the game I really still don't really understand it. But we've got 84 men in our unit here. Our morale is 65, 0 fatigue. We're sitting in good ground, I think. Meanwhile, what's the difference here? Centurion positioning. Okay, so we're facing front. The enemy's health is 118. 60 morale. They should be tired, I would think. Who's Lolus? Lolus, is that the bad guy? Helvetian light infantry. And then our troops as well. So they're approaching. Both sides are approaching. Here, no momentum. Their formation is loose, so they have less cohesion than us. Oh, hey, Lolius. Alright, as the two sides get closer and closer, your men prepare to throw their javelins at your command. The enemy will likely do the same. Okay. Throw normally or act in advance. So, seize the throw initiative or not. Throw initiative capacity, javelin skill 24, ground factor 10. That gives us a 34 chance. They're better at me than me at it. So if we do throw normally, it's a -8 in their favor. If we do act in advance, it's a slightly better odd for us, I guess. So we'll just do act in advance, see what happens. We fail. Okay. Your sentry attacks with a hail of missiles. Failure, the missiles fall way off target. 0 damage inflicted. I've bungled my throw. And so did my inferior, my second in charge. We do have the high ground, though. They missed too, though. So their throw is bad. Our throw is bad. Nobody does anything with their javelins. So to the melee! Alright, so our boys are on the high ground. We have considerably better cohesion. Our front defense is better. Our fatigue is better. They have more lingering fatigue and more regular fatigue. So we have the advantage here, and they're in loose order. So we can do, what do we do? Steadfast gives us a slight advantage. Cautious, very cautious. We could go fierce, or we could go all-out charge, but we'd probably lose a bunch of cohesion if we do that. Commitment fierce. Let's try that. We succeed in gaining the initiative. Cool. So we're in a spearhead formation, I think. Or we can choose the spearhead. Do I want to be the spearhead? Get myself killed? Or just not. We'll just fight normally. I don't need to risk my neck. Alright, so we gain the momentum multiple times. We inflict 12 damage. Determination increases. The enemy's decreases. Okay. Marcus Ruburius, who's one of our officers, is involved in a brief fight. Do I have to command for him too? Apparently I do. So normally you do these like individual fights when your character is influenced, but I guess Marcus Ruburius is also in this fight. So we'll see. Fatigue, he's got an advantage. No lingering fatigue either. He's got a morale advantage. Should give him a slight stance advantage. So let's go with the rapid. He's going to go a rapid close-in. Round 1 of potentially 5, so it's a pretty short fight. Alright. So they try to strike at me. It's fended off. They lose stance, which means they're a little off balance. I am at full stance. So I could try striking. I don't have very good attack modifiers on any of that. Does he have a shield? He does. Do a bluff. That's the only one with a positive attack modifier. Okay. Alright, so he does feint, and it has a little bit of what's commitment expectations? Oh, based on the, what, like, our current stances for our force? Whatever, let's try a torso shot. Defended. Okay. Shield? High knock? These are all bad odds. Like, I don't have... Alright, recover. Failed recovery? Okay. Why do I keep failing? I should have positive recovery modifiers here. There we go. Recover stance. Probably not going to finish this fight in the next 2 turns, though. Bluff misses. Shield knock fails. All of us are just incompetent here. Okay. Alright, well, we had a successful strike at the end there, and it didn't really matter. So, no change. Combativeness to the formation goes up slightly. Theirs goes down, but no actual damage to the formation here. So, he's involved in a brief fight that has no real impact. The bad guys are trying to gain momentum back, I guess? Alright, failure, failure, success. I don't really understand how all of this plays out, to be honest. But it seems like we still have an advantage here. What's this? So imbalance. So our formation is imbalanced. I don't know if that means I need to pull him back. I can't do anything quite yet. Or, I mean, I still can't adjust any of this stuff here, so... But the imbalance is getting worse. If I pull back, does the imbalance get better? I think maybe if the +8, does it mean I'm advancing too rapidly? Okay. Imbalance is getting worse. Maybe if I pull back slightly. Yeah, okay. By reducing my commitment to cautious, the imbalance gets slightly better. They damage me on that? So we suffered damage, but no one's killed. They're very tired. I don't want to disengage. So there's a lull in the fighting. Which then causes the... So both sides pull back temporarily. In theory, from a tactical point of view, we're blocking their escape. So you would think... Anyway, whatever. The imbalance is back to 0. Our cohesion advantage is still considerable. We have not lost any men. We've got a little bit of lingering fatigue, but nothing like what they have. All-out charge. Let's break their frickin' lines. Well, that failed. They're doing damage, but not killing anybody. Alright, now I've got to pull back because I overcommitted again. But I have to slowly pull back, because if I try and pull back aggressively, then that results in kind of like panic and confusion. So that's like something you need to keep in mind here, is if you get too aggressive like I did, then you can, you know, trying to pull back causes panic and potentially routing. So our formation is very imbalanced. We're not going to get back into balance without disengaging again. I have commitment issues? Maybe. No, they killed one of my men. So my cohesion is still considerably better than theirs, but this has not been a good engagement so far for us. Okay. There's another lull here. Our boys are starting to get fatigued. Their lingering fatigue is much higher than ours, but our fatigue in that battle was worse. Okay, so we were going in with more fatigue than them, although less lingering fatigue. We will go with a... Do we go steadfast or fierce? Maybe fierce. I gotta get them below 1200 cohesion to break them. Alright, so we gain the initiative. We do some damage to them. Threat roll. Damn. I was like, maybe we'd kill someone. Alright. We'll stay at steadfast, which I don't think disengages, but may keep the imbalance under 5. Continue to do damage to their cohesion. We're not killing anybody, but at the end of the day, I think it's more about breaking the formation. That's our mission right now, and their cohesion is dropping with the damage we're inflicting. We do have a slight imbalance here. I'm going to keep pushing despite the imbalance. We suffer damage because of it, but we're also doing damage to them. Our boys are getting real tired, though, so we're going to start pulling back. The enemy's much better at managing their imbalance than I am. Go back to steadfast. Alright. So we're disengaging. But their cohesion is getting close to the 1200 figure, I think. Our fatigue was a bit higher than them that fight. Lingering fatigue is starting to even out here, which is not great. Yeah, Monolith, the Euchreist Brewers is... Can we, like, challenge them to a duel? It's gonna be weird. We do have the high ground advantage. What if we don't... What if we just hold steadfast? What are they gonna try and do? Maintain our... Maybe we can maintain our imbalance and fatigue a little bit longer. Oh wow, we inflicted a lot more cohesion damage there. That was what, damage inflicted 40? And we killed someone. Hell yeah, brothers. Okay. Who needs to be aggressive? Just sit back. Just be steadfast. I'm guessing my troops are fatiguing more quickly than the enemy because of my lack of experience, perhaps? They're almost below 1200. They're about to break, I think. hoping that I could just finish him off here. I know we're imbalanced, but I just want to do more damage. There we go. This should get him below 1,200. Paulus is involved in a fight. Alright. His lingering fatigue is considerably less. Be rapid, sir. Do not shy away from danger. Straight knock. There you go. Shield knock. Didn't beat the resistance. Strike, maybe? Try a torso strike. Was defended. Try and recover. There you go. Alright. Straight knock shield. Hit. Did not beat the resistance, though. Damn it. Trying to knock this guy over. The guy is tired. Maybe a feint would work. Do a bluff. Fail. Huh. Okay. So he successfully bamboozled me. Or my deputy, whatever this guy is. Maybe I should change my stance to regular. No soft spots. We can intimidate. Ah! Straight knock. Fail. Yeah, it's a little bit of RNG. I mean, not a little bit. It's a very RNG-driven game. So the Helvetii beat my guy, inflicted a very minor wound to him. So that didn't help us in the fight. But I'm thinking, I mean, our imbalance is pretty heavy, so we're going to pull our push back a bit. But I'm thinking because they're below 1,200, that when this fight is over, they will retreat. Disengage. The cohesion of your enemy must be below 1,200. Your cohesion must be higher than this. Yes, we have achieved the minimum goal. The attackers withdraw in confusion and disperse. It is night when the fighting is at the wagons is over. The remaining enemies surrender and are captured. Although many thousands have escaped, it is not yet time to give chase. You remain at the battle site for 3 days to take care of the wounded and bury the dead. Plus 12 combativeness for the sentry and myself. So they gained some valuable experience, I would think, in terms of fighting. We did lose one man, but I would say overall, okay. As the loot of the battle is gathered, you have a chance to snatch a beautiful gold torque. Torque? Break the rules and steal it to sell later. No, I will not break the rules. I'm an honorable and noble officer. Thank you very much for the membership, Tommy. Appreciate it. All right, so on the 4th day you resume the pursuit. The survivors have fled to the north, but the battle costs them their precious supplies, and they are too desperate to keep struggling. Their envoys meet your column halfway, offering unconditional surrender. Let's see here. The Helvetii accept to return to their old settlement to the east beyond the Jura. They'll hand over their weapons and a consistent number of hostages to ensure compliance. The former territory of the Helvetii must not remain empty should the dreaded Germani from across the Rhine decide to occupy it. If that happened, the safety of the Transalpine province would be compromised. You keep the vow that you made before the battle, plus 40 religion. You have lost 200 sestardi. Combativeness points are converted into everyday morale with a ratio of 4 to 1. Lingering fatigue is greatly reduced for everybody, barring the effects of strain, and everybody has recovered at least part of their health. Of the other tribes that accompanied the Helvetii on their invasion, only the boy are allowed to remain in Gaul. They were part of the rear guard of the enemy convoy and fought most valiantly. The Aedui have offered to take them in and give them fields to cultivate. As for you, it seems you will stay this side of the Alps for a while yet. Caesar receives delegations from many free tribes of central Gaul. They have come to thank him for dealing with the invasion and threatened their people, but there's more to it. There is speculation that a general assembly has been called, but you have no idea of the reason. It is no use trying to pry information from the tribunes. They are tight-lipped on this matter. You receive your share of the loot, which is 500 sestari. So I net out 300 beyond what I did for my whole, give a sacrifice thing. Okay. Thanks to your recent command experience, you've gained additional points to spend on potential skills and base attributes. You've gained 2 extra points because of the minimum goals are all reached. Okay, so what do I want to use that toward? Charisma, maybe? Or bravery? I'm already pretty damn brave. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the sharpest something in the bushel. I don't know. I didn't really get to fight a whole lot. Let's do 1 discipline, 2 intellect. And then my unit also gets some attributes. I don't know. Can you train bravery? Let's do 2 on bravery. I don't know if you can really train that. I guess we'll just do 1 across the board for the other ones. Okay, so we are now in Chapter 2, Part 2 of a Legion, or of Never Second in Rome. I keep wanting to say a Legionaries or whatever. Franklin, thank you very much for the membership. Appreciate it. All right, so let's see here. We're in camp. Supervision is plus 70. High supervision score allows you to recognize and select individuals with better qualities. So one thing we've done really well. So we can pick out a notable legionary under my leadership. It's going to randomly generate this character. What is their best ability? I suppose maybe sword? Or quickness? I don't know. Sword? They're just going to be a fighter. Sword, javelin, shield, bravery, awareness, discipline, quickness, coordination. Is that everything? Yeah. What's their worst? Intellect. Durr. Numerous Tucius. Can you rename these people? It'd be fun if I could rename them. Name them after folks in the chat, but it doesn't look like I can do that. Okay. My troops, meh. Mediocre reputation with me, -1. Caesar, he must have recognized me somewhat, +1. Religion 1, integrity 2, almost a 3. Almost I'm a very, very noble person. Alright, so we got to go back to training now. We're in camp. We've got 10 more turns to train. Inventory, I don't think I have any inventory to sell. I have 2,000 sestari. So, like, maybe you'd want to start buying stuff if you're to go trade. But I don't really have that much money. Like, I could get a better helmet. Okay, great. I don't know. There's nothing here I want to buy. I don't know about the ornamental. What does this do? Just changes your appearance. I could also buy, you know, luxury goods to help morale of my men, or discipline, or humanus, but yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's do training. And I don't have any strain on me. My legion doesn't. Training efficiency is good. We're working on sword, shield, javelin, other duties. Sporadic artillery support. Maybe we should increase that to frequent. Although that will influence the rest of your training effectiveness. I'm just wondering, at some point this is going to matter, or they wouldn't have it if it didn't. Let's just keep training the same as it was for the next turn, see what happens. The recently fallen are missed, especially by those who are closer to them. Century morale, -5. Oh. Okay. Oh, and I get paid too, so I get another 1,400. Cool. What's this event? A legionary discreetly offers you 50 sestari if you let him dodge the most menial and strenuous duties for a year. No. Century morale -1, discipline 200, integrity 90. My troops are not going to hate me, but they probably won't love me. Meanwhile, does that change my overall stats? My integrity is now level 3. Troops' opinion actually went up to 0. Okay, so they don't really care that I held that guy to task. Okay. Do I need to do anything to help their morale? What is their morale now? Morale is 57. It could be better. Let's... think her to the new sub. Alright, let's do... Alright, I'm going to take my man to Horan. +5 morale. Gonna spend a big chunk of my money, but it will help the overall morale of the unit increase a bit. I guess I'll go myself too. That's so much money for a not a huge increase. Do I need to... I don't really care about this supervision thing. Let's adjust that training. Alright, we're at 100. So drop supervision. And then maybe increase... quickness, maybe? And then just, I don't want to drop this by 1. I don't want to overdo this strain. We'll get a little bit of respite back. What's this event? Today's training march has been demanding. Most of your troops seem to be keeping up fine, but some of them are exhausted and slowing down the rest. What is my Charisma 65. Intellect's 58. Or try and whip him. Let's motivate him. Let's try and be charismatic. Oh, no, we failed. We needed a 65 and we got a 68. Darn. Okay. Yes, it is Como. It is the sequel to A Legionary's Life, but instead of being an individual legionary, you command a section of soldiers. Hostius has a habit of intervening during the training sessions of your sentry to give advice and instruction. Confront him in private. He's upstaging me. Success. He's a little taken aback at first, but when you explain your reasons, he accepts them with no harm and feeling. The meddling stops. Okay, cool. I asserted my authority. I don't know if I should be doing like education or... I mean, supervision is real high here. Do I want to drop supervision a little bit more? Put it in toward, I don't know, javelin training maybe? Why'd my morale drop? I don't think I've got enough money to bring him Horan anymore. I don't think I have anything I can sell. Could take myself. What does this do for me? Appearance +1? What is that? I don't know what that matters, but... Yay, my appearance went up. I'm more impressive now, apparently. Okay, time to move on. Let's see what happens here. Other duty increase. Wow, Caesar's opinion goes up a lot from the other duty stuff and from the administration. So 22 plus on the Caesar opinion chart. I don't know that that actually moves the needle on anything in terms of... As promised, a general assembly with leaders from all over central Gaul is held. It is obvious that an issue of great importance or import and secrecy is being discussed with Caesar. Soon after, Caesar sends a delegation toward the land of the Sesquani, then another following the return of the first. It's ominous music! Alright, my integrity's 3, religion 1, Caesar 1, troop 1, humanus is still -1, 0 valor. They're inhabited by many tribes, their land is rich. The tribes are divided by rivalry and strife. Okay. So it's just setting the stage for a fight. Okay. I don't need to read all this text out loud, right? You guys can read while the screen is in front of you. Meanwhile, my legion's morale is 61. And... yeah. If Caesar doesn't respond to a long-standing ally due to the request to help, his reputation will take a hit. Okay, preparations begin immediately to set off and march east. Barely time to recover after the bloody confrontation with the Helvetii. Another war is in the making. Gosh darn it, Caesar. It's not in Latin. Your immersion is ruined. Well, I can say we've been going for almost an hour now, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. Seems like a logical stopping point. We fought some battles. We did some stuff. We'll see how the next episode plays out. Until next time, let me know if you guys are enjoying this series down below, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out. Bye-bye.